Happy new day, good people. Welcome to the new day. Welcome to the morning. We have 24 more hours of new possibilities and opportunities. Let's get it. Let's get it this morning. And as you can see, I'm out for my morning walk. I want to say thank you to everyone who sent me Mother's Day well wishes. I appreciate them. Also, I want to say happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers who have been in the trenches, gave their sacrifices, was misunderstood, who couldn't fully live the life that was full of other possibilities. Let's put it like that. Other possibilities. Because our mothers also had dreams, goals, and desires before they had us, right? And all of us didn't come here by an oops or an accident. Many of us were planned, There's a lot of dynamics that come into play when you speak about mother. Many of us have very strained relationships with our mother. Many of us don't necessarily know our mothers. And if I could just be real clear about this, most of us don't know our mothers. Even those of us who have had great relationships with our mothers, we don't know our mothers. We don't know our mother's desires. We don't know all of her traumas. We don't know all of her fears. We don't know all of her failures. We don't know. Why? Because most of our mothers just plunged through and went on autopilot and stood up and took the assignment when it came to raising her children with whatever means and tools she had. With whatever means and tools she had. They don't come with a blueprint on how to raise us. They go by what they know from the previously from the current generation that they were raised in. So whatever they learned from mama, grandmama, that's what they do. That's what they know to do. Some of our mothers learned indirectly what not to do. Okay? Just as we should. So those of us who have strained relationships with our mothers, and Mother's Day is not a very happy day for you, I say right now, Mama did the best she could. And I know many of us is like, oh no, she could have did better. Who says she could have did better? Who says she had it in her? I know she had it in her because she went over there and she took care of X, Y, and Z. Or she did this and she didn't come take care of me. Or she didn't treat me properly. Or why wasn't she home every day to cook dinner? Or why did she have to work so much? Or why wasn't she there, period? Or why did she run off? You know what I've learned? A lot of times when our mothers have moved on and they're not there in those vital important parts of our life as we are learning and growing and young, that elementary and junior high part of our life, we're actually being protected. Many of y'all don't really understand that, but you are being protected. There's some things in mama that she's scared of. Have you ever thought that your mother felt like she wasn't worthy to even be a mother? That's usually not something mama is going to share with you. I'm walking up this hill, y'all. I don't know why I decided to do this live going up this hill. But anyway. That's not something most mothers are going to share with you until you're probably older. Many mothers don't feel worthy to be a mother. Many mothers go into it very scared. Many mothers have experienced abuse, trauma with their own mothers and feel like they're going to pass that on. So they leave. They don't want to pass it on. That's how they protect you. And a lot of times we don't get that. We don't understand that our mothers had a life before us. Our mothers also have an emotional state, a mental state, a mental health, an emotional health that need to be factored in when you go judging mama. Think about it. Was she mentally, emotionally, physically equipped to take care of a child? Has she been abused, raped, sexually abused, beaten? Has she been told she wasn't going to be shit? She wasn't worthy of nothing and wasn't going to be nothing? Has she been told all of those things? Okay? Has she already felt bad about her life because she was an unwed mother and had a child? If you had know anything about in the 60s, being unwed and having a child, oh, honey, you was tainted. Didn't nobody want you. Didn't nobody want you. And don't tell him what the church did to her. I know many mothers, some of us can attest to it right now, got pregnant in the church. Oh, Lord. They had to stand up in the middle of the church in front of everybody. And the pastor go in on them and make them feel less than a dog as they sinned and the child is a sin. That's a lot of abuse to deal with. Some of us are oops. It was mama's time. You know, mama was out there getting it or whatever and experimenting with her life and experiencing her life, her young life. And we came here, oops. But guess what? That was us pushing through. Many of them didn't lay down with the man because they wanted a baby. They laid down because they wanted to have the experience. And we pushed through. That was us coming through. We got to take some responsibility in that. That was us coming from the source creator, pushing through, saying, I'm coming right now. This is my time. I got a friend who said she hijacked her mama's womb. She said she hijacked it. She said she wasn't, the way her mama was living her life, she know her mama wasn't going to be able to do it, but she came anyway. But it took her to be older to realize that. A lot of us are putting all of these perceptions of what we think our mother is supposed to be and should be, and we're not taking into consideration that she is a woman in a patriarchal society that deems women second class, not supported, okay, not valued, couldn't get a job other than secretary and a nurse, couldn't get education. She was not considered a person unless she was attached to a man. Not to say the stuff and abuse she went through before us. And we don't ever take that in consideration because we're here now and we feel like everything she does should be sacrificed for us. Well, let me tell you the greatest sacrifice that she gave us. Are you ready? The greatest sacrifice that she gave us, and I'm about to come to tears, is her body. The greatest sacrifice mama gave you was her body. Because Lord knows after we have children, this body changes, honey. This body changes. The ass drop, the titties sag, the pouch come on, the stretch marks happen. The weight gain, the weight loss, whatever. Don't play with me. She gave her body. Whether she was in your life or not, whether it was tumultuous or not, whether it was a strained relationship or not, whether you have your mama right now in your life or not, whether you know your mama, whether you can't stand your mama, whether you love your mama, the fact remains she gave her body. Do you understand what kind of sacrifice that is? I want you to sit on that for a minute. And for those of us who have lost our mothers in transition, I want to tell you, she's still with you. You have her DNA. You have her values. You have her love. You have her support from the other dimensions, from the other realm. And we honor her today as well. You know how they always say, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Why do they say that? Not that daddy doesn't have the significance and the support. That's not it. But mama is everything. And mama gets blamed for everything. Your daddy could not have been there in your life for 20-something years. Your mama is the one out there surviving, getting out there, making it happen, making sure you got a roof over your head, food, whatever her issues are. She's still making sure that you got your basic needs met. Okay? And yet daddy sometimes come and Lord have mercy. Everything all about daddy. All about daddy. Mama was in here crying late at night where you couldn't see it. She was in there trying to figure out how she was going to get the light bill paid. Some of us. But yet daddy come in and you like, oh, my daddy. I'm just like, what? Not saying he don't deserve his respect, because yes, he came through. He did his thing. That's why you here too. But the fact that mama gave her whole life, her body. It don't get no deeper than that. It don't get no deeper than that. Okay? So I want you to sit on that for a minute and understand that those of you who have a strained, tumultuous relationship with your mother, it's okay. Because it's meant to grow you. It's meant to expand you. It's meant to develop you. And I know you don't understand it now because it's based in deep emotion. But if you sit and think about what she has taught you indirectly through her harsh words, her pain, her abuse, and how she spilled that over onto your life, unfortunately, but fortunately, how that has spilled over into your life. And you think about all the things you don't want to become, and you think about all the things you will not say to your children, and you think about all the things you will not interact with your children, will not participate in with your children because it brought you pain due to the relationship with your mother. She has taught you a hell of a lot. It's not your teaching. Let me tell you something. Class is not always easy. You always have that class you can't stand, and you keep going into it because you got to go into it because you got to pass this grade. You got to get this credit. You keep going to this class and you can't stand the teacher. You can't stand nothing about it. You hate how it smells. You can't stand the class mates you got in there. You can't stand nothing about it, but you got to go to it because you got to get the grade. You got to go to it, and you just plunge through it anyway because you got to get to the other side of that thing. That's what them tumultuous relationships is with mama. You take what you need, leave the rest. And you're being taught indirectly. She is teaching you what not to do, which is still her doing her job. So I want you to think about that. All you mothers out there, I love you. Get it right. Stop blaming mama for everything. A lot of y'all 30, 40 years old still blaming mama. Some of that is you at the age of accountability now. Some of that shit ain't even on mama no more. That's the shit you want to do. Okay? So think about that. And know that if you gave your body and if you sacrificed your life, pushing out a baby, 9 months, living with a life inside of you, changing your whole DNA and cellular structure. Yes, and I want to also add that many of us have postpartum depression. We don't think it's real, but it is. Many of us can have postpartum depression up to 10 years after delivering a child. I know you didn't know that. Yes. Many of us, in 10 years, we gave birth to a child 2 years ago, and then now another 2 years, we have another child. Do you know you have postpartum depression with the first child, and now you are having another child in postpartum depression? And building off of that postpartum depression. So now you have a double dose of postpartum depression. That's not easy. That's not easy. And many of us was born under postpartum depression. So we ain't even factoring all that in. How you doing, young man? We ain't factoring none of that in. So I just want to give you a little clarity on this beautiful morning. Go on, get up. Do what you got to do. Get active. Participate in your life. I love you.